Is this YouTube video gonna just be me looking through my phone?
Yep.
Cool. A great first impression. Oh, but this is worth it.
Call with Clementine, that needs to happen. Yeah.
Tilt it down a little bit.
We'll need to get materials released for this.
Oh, man. Give me a break.
I know, she's so pretty. Hi, I'm Sola. I'm usually back there. Today I'm here. All right, so I made the traditional version of these, which is called biaju, when I first interviewed here. And it's a blended lentil paste, just like we're doing today, but instead of the zucchini, it's all onions. And it was spring, so I put all kinds of alliums in there. And Chris really liked it, so much that I got the job. And then he had an idea of using the lentil fritters as a batter for zucchini fritters to like update that old stodgy mess and make it cool and sexy and bon appetit. Okay, so here I've got some red lentils, and we start by just rinsing them really well. Always rinse them until they run clear enough for you to see your hand through the water. About three changes. Yeah, so you can see it's still a bit cloudy, but it's much more clear than it was before. You can totally see my hand. So while we wait for the lentils to soak, we're gonna prep our zucchini and onion. So traditionally for a zucchini fritter, you shred the zucchini on a box grater. Instead, I want like nice and chunky pieces of zucchini. So I'm cutting them into skinny French fry shape. So I've lopped off the ends. This is a nice medium zucchini. I'm gonna cut them into 3 about 2-inch segments. That's really just to make it easier to handle. You don't want this guy rolling around. So I'm gonna take off a 1/4-inch slab right here. And then I have a nice flat place to work. And we're gonna cut this into 1/4-inch thick planks. And then once you have your planks, you just like stack them up and you go back and you make little batons. With the shredded zucchini, it's pretty hard to even tell that it's zucchini. It's just kind of wet and mushy in there. So here you can see the skin clearly. You've got these big chunks. You're gonna like know what's inside of your fritter. If you can get good zucchini, it's gonna make this better. But we're frying it, so anything will be fine. Like you can fry anything and it'll be fine, if I'm being perfectly honest. All right, so I'm gonna cut the onion into thin slices. I need my compost bowl. Right, so we started composting. I'm not gonna throw my onion peels away. I'm gonna cut the onion and put it with the squash. They're gonna get salted. It's gonna pull out some of the moisture. So we end up with like nice tender pieces that aren't wet. There's a lot of ways to cut an onion. We're only gonna use half this onion. I got a little crazy and cut it all, but we'll make more fritters later. Onions going into the bowl with the zucchini. Now I'm gonna salt the veg. This is gonna help draw out moisture. I'm adding 1 teaspoon of kosher salt. This zucchini and onion is gonna hang out for about an hour, and we're gonna watch. It's gonna wilt, liquid's gonna pool at the bottom, and it's gonna transform. Okay, so we passed some time. The lentils, you can see they've gotten really plump, lightened in color, and my hands are shaking because I've been drinking coffee with Chris. He sucked me in.
I thought you didn't drink caffeine.
I don't. You can also tell because you can kind of, if you smush them in your hands, they'll crack pretty easily. Now we're gonna drain it. All right, drained. Now I'm gonna blitz this into a paste in the food processor. You don't want to do it in the blender because the blender will make it a bit too smooth. And if it's too smooth, it'll fry up really heavy and dense. So food processing it ensures that you won't take it too far. I'm going to add to this 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt, a bit of turmeric, and Kashmiri red chili powder. This is a pretty mild and fruity chili powder. It's more flavorful than hot, but if you don't have it, you can just use half as much of cayenne. All right, here we go. So you want to get in there a couple of times and scrape down the sides. Make sure you get all the way under the blade because sometimes that's where you end up with like rogue lentils that aren't blending. That's why I love these tiny spatulas. Okay, I think that looks good. Okay, so this is our zucchini and onion after an hour, and you can see it looks super like floppy, squishy. It's almost like you steamed it, but without any heat. And we've got like at least a tablespoon of liquid that's come out of that. So I'm gonna dump this out. And then I can go right back into this bowl. So you can see the lentils have broken down, but it's not like a smooth puree. It still looks a little bit chunky and coarse, and that's exactly what you want. This texture is gonna mean that when you fry it up, it's gonna feel a little bit like light and airy on the inside. Whereas if you did this with like a chickpea flour, it would just be like a pancake. We wouldn't have improved the original, which is which is defeating the point of doing this. So, into the bowl. I could scrape a bowl forever. Sorry, guys. Okay. Okay, so next, before I add the zucchini and onion into here, I want to just make sure I get every bit of liquid off of it by draining it on a towel. You don't want to break apart the vegetable at this point, so don't like get in there. You don't want to wring it out, but you know, just kind of blot it. That's the word. Now we're going to fold the veggies into our lentil puree. At this point, you just want to make sure that all the veggies are evenly distributed in the puree. It's not going to look at all like your typical batter for a zucchini fritter, and just trust in the recipe. Believe me. I'm going to zest this lemon into here. We want about a tablespoon of zest. 1 cup of parsley. I like to do like big pieces with the stems because it looks really pretty when it fries up in there. And once again, like with the big chunks of zucchini, you want to know what's in there. So that's a hefty cup. You know, why am I going to leave this guy behind? We're going to go parsley heavy. I'm going rogue. It's going to be okay. I'm going to fold this up, and like once again, it's going to look like a crazy amount of stuff in there, but it'll be okay. And now we're going to fry. Okay, so I'm frying in a 10-inch cast iron skillet. I want to fry it in about like a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch of ghee, and this is by using a smaller pan, you need less ghee to fry it. You could also use neutral oil, but I really like ghee because it adds a nice nutty flavor to the whole thing. And if you don't let the ghee get to like smoking point, you can strain it out and use it again. And you know that it's hot and ready to go by plopping a little bit in there. And see how it immediately starts bubbling? That means this is ready to fry. On a thermometer, it's about 375, but that's pretty hard to tempt with such a small amount of fat. So I'm gonna get like a big spoonful, about a 1/4 cup, pop it in, dip your spoon in a bit of the ghee so it doesn't stick, and then use it to flatten it into a little pancake. We'll put that little bitty bit on there too. A little parsley leaf, dip and squish. You want these to fry until they're really deeply golden brown. It's gonna be about 3 minutes per side. It's gonna seem like it's darker than you think it needs to be, but we wanna make sure the lentils cook all the way through. Otherwise, when you bite into it, it's gonna have a weird little starchy aftertaste. Okay,
Yes.
you can see this guy is like ready to flip because the outside's looking nice and toasty. I like to do a little 2 spatula method, but you know, 1 will work. Use a spoon, whatever, and there you go. You can see the onions get like really caramelized from contact with the cast iron, so they're gonna be nice and sweet in there. Okay, so that's what we're looking for. I don't know what you call that. It's brown. I don't think it's golden brown. It's brown. Another 2 minutes. Cut. No, I'm not supposed to say that. Okay, so you can see the second side's nice and deeply browned. Immediately after taking it out of the oil, you want to season it with a touch of salt. You got to do it right away or it's not going to stick. And we've got number 2 and our little guy lagging behind. You made it though. Next batch. Okay. He made it with his pack.
Chris, how does it feel to be in the background of a solo video?
Feels good. It's like if being in the background of a video is like a series of wines. Like this is like a real like robust kind of number. There's like a lot going on.
Like a
A
Syrah?
lot of edges, like a Syrah. Like a big Northern Rhone Syrah. Yeah.
Cool.
They're not like giving you a hard time though or anything. Like first video, kind of hazing rituals, any
No.
bullshit like that.
No. All right, so I've got my last batch of zucchini fritters frying up, and in the meantime, I'm gonna whip up a really simple raita just to dip on the side. I've got 3/4 cup of whole milk yogurt, not Greek. I kind of like the regular stuff more for this because it's got a bit more tang. Adding a 1/2 teaspoon sugar, a big pinch of salt, and this is my lemon that I zested. I'm gonna juice it now and use about 2 tablespoons of juice. Whisk it up. Super simple. All right, back to the fritters. They're probably ready to flip. Oh yeah, they are ready to flip. Such timing, it's like I've made this before. I could feel it in my bones. Or it's the coffee with coconut oil. All right, 2 minutes. Okay, so I just finished the last batch, and you want to salt it as soon as it comes out of the fryer so the salt sticks to it while it's nice and hot. Okay, let's eat. Yeah?
Yeah.
We're ready to go. We're still rolling. Ah, I forgot. Okay. So we're going to plate it up all nice and fancy. Plate up some of these fritties. What do you think? Is that pretty?
Oh my god, look at the cavalry.
All right. How did you know?
What are the odds?
Look who's here.
Oh my god. Are these basically just zucchini pakoras?
They're biaju. So it's blended lentils. There you go. Fresh
So you
from the
eat
sheet
one
pan.
of these. Can I just dip it directly in?
Yeah.
What did you season the zucchini in?
So the zucchini and onion gets salted
Holy.
just to pull out some of the water. And then in it, it's just turmeric and Kashmiri red chili.
Oh my god. This is so good.
Thank
Yum.
you. Crunchy?
Oh my god.
Can you hear the crunch?
It like shatters. It's interesting. I feel like pakora, I love pakora, but it's often very one note. This is just got like a lot of stuff going on. You can taste like the brightness of the zucchini. Like you actually taste the flavor of the vegetables, whereas pakora is more about like
The
encasing the vegetables in fried batter. Like you can taste like the vegetalness.
Cool.
Oh, that's so fresh and delicious.
Thank you.
I've never had your food before. This is amazing.
Thank you.
I'm just gonna linger for 2 more seconds
You
and
should
then I
just-
will leave.
You should finish the whole thing.
I'm gonna finish the whole thing and then I'll leave. Okay, bye. Good.
Chris, you're up. Come on down. There's going to be a family meal too soon.
Sola, you spoil us all.
The onion. Oh,
This is why I got the job, right?
yeah.
Basically. Because I
Yeah.
get a lot of messages, how'd you get this job? This is how I got this job. So go make this and maybe you'll be here too.
Yeah. So well done. Texture, incredible. Flavor, incredible. I love the parsley, and I've become like a little bit of a parsley agnostic in life
Mhm.
at this point, but like it fries up so well, it becomes part of that texture. All right, well done.
That's what she said.
So yeah, these are the zucchini lentil fritters. It's what happens when Chris and I combine our powers with a little sprinkle of inspiration from my mom. So you should go make this. It's delicious. Is that good? Was that enough?
It was until you asked, is that good?
I like that.
Can you tell me that one more time? Leave it in. Nice.
Okay, I forgot what I said. All right, okay.